So today I want to talk to you just a little bit about how we can be proactive in our coaching right now in the fall. If you are a varsity coach or even if you are a JV or a freshman coach, there's some things that you can be doing right now to really set yourself up for success. And these aren't big things. I'm not talking about this is a shooting program you should do or the dribbling program. I mean, obviously, if you have those things going on, that's great. But as coaches, we need to be setting ourselves up for success, really with the communication that we're doing more than anything. Of course, we want to get in the gym. We want our players to get in the gym. That's an important part of having success as well. But most coaches get themselves it's not really trouble all the time, but they cause more stress, I guess. They cause more stress in their life because they overlook or they just don't think certain things are important. And if we would take a second to just communicate earlier, if we take a second just to get everybody on the same page, we find a lot of the little stressors and problems just kind of go away. And here's what I mean. The other night we had our fall basketball meeting. We have one each fall. We wait for a couple weeks after the fall sports get started. We're a smaller school, so we have kids who are going to play multiple sports. We do offer some opportunities for players to be in the gym, get some shots up, do some workouts, some open gyms, that kind of thing. But we share athletes, and we want them to know that playing a fall sport is okay. We want those 2 and 3 sport athletes in our school. So we went over that the other night. It's about a 15, 20 minute. We just did it on a Zoom call. That way I wasn't interrupting practices or having players think that they were going to have to miss something, or they just felt Sunday night, not a whole lot going on. So it was easy to hop on a Zoom call for 15 or 20 minutes. But we talked about things like if we're not in a sport right now, being in the weight room, making sure that we're conditioning. We talked about when our actual conditioning program starts for the preseason. We looked at our 4-person workouts. We looked at our open gym schedule. But I wanted everybody to be on the same page so that they all know these are opportunities for you. We also mentioned that if you're playing another sport, that sport takes precedent over the basketball, which is the winter sport. It's not that I don't want the guys in the gym, but I also understand if they're going to be playing football or playing soccer or tennis, that's kind of where their commitment is right now. If they can get into the gym and shoot, if they can get into some dribbling stuff, we'd love them to do that. Most of the time, our fall athletes don't play in the open gyms because we don't want to have to risk, a sprained ankle or a twisted knee or something like that when they're in a sport that coach and their teammates are counting on them. But all of that goes to say 15, 20 minutes to get everybody on the same page, to let them know what the expectation is from me as a varsity coach, and then my JV and freshman coaches are on the call as well. And just to say that go out, play that fall sport as hard as you can, be as good as you can at it. But if you have the time and the desire and you want to get in the gym, here are some times that you can get in the gym. If the fall sport is taking all of your time, or that's your number 1 sport, maybe basketball is your number 2, then once it's over, we'll get you in the gym and we'll get you kind of caught up and all of that good stuff. But that conversation, I think, helps the athletes feel a little bit more at home and a little bit less stressed themselves. But it's also less questions that I have to deal with. It's less uncertainty that I have to deal with because we're all on the same page to start. Now, at the end of the fall, we're going to have another meeting because now we're going to be talking about preseason. What does our preseason conditioning look like? What do tryouts look like? What is a practice schedule? All of that stuff. So we have another meeting to gear up for that phase of actually getting into the season. But these meetings are really simple and easy to do, and I think they really pay off, and they create less stress and less headaches for me as a varsity coach, but they also get our players and our other coaches on the same page as well. So, coach, if you haven't done something like that, it might just be that you're doing a team. Maybe you're the 9th grade coach. Have a Zoom call real quick with your players. Let them know, like, hey, here are some opportunities, whether they can get in the gym or you want to pass out a workout to them that they can do. These are some things that you can be doing to prepare yourself for the season. What I try not to do is I don't try to put them on a guilt trip. That if you're not doing something, you're lazy or you're not going to be any good. It just doesn't work that way. We've never done that in our program. We've had a lot of success, and we like to be on the same page. I like the athletes to feel comfortable with me and with their coaches and know that we understand they're humans. They got a lot going on, and while basketball is an important thing, it's not the only thing in their life right now in the fall. Come the season, Now it's going to be a little bit more about dedication to the team and dedication to your craft. In the summer, it was a little bit more about getting into workouts and things. So there are times and places where we do have a little bit more serious conversations, but I don't want to guilt somebody to be in the gym or guilt them to be on my team. I want them to want to be there. And when they want to be there, I think they work harder for me as a coach. They work harder for their teammates, and they work harder for themselves, because there's this expectation, this feeling of I belong to something bigger. I belong to something that I want to be a part of, and that can go a long ways. So, Coach, just a couple of thoughts on some little things, some mindset things, some communication things that you can do with your program, I think, to set it apart and to put your athletes on the same page. All right. If you are watching this on any of the social media, go ahead, hit a like, leave a comment. Let me know some of the little things maybe that you do in your program. If you're catching this over at CoachMattDennis.com on the blog, you can leave a comment right there on the blog. But I'd love to hear the little things you do in the fall to get yourself and get your team prepared and geared up for really when the season starts in a couple of months. All right. Have a great one, Coach.